ma papa, o ma shatata. Hello, everyone. Hi, Hitomi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you. Alicia, are you there? Hello. I like the blurry background. It's much better than my background, which is crystal clear. The blurry background leaves it to the imagination of the viewer. Okay, so you need to make up what's happening in the background, or it's up to the viewer. Okay, so here comes the beta. Any questions before everybody arrives? Tell me, when do you want to do the mock test?
Yeah, I couldn't do that last weekend.
Okay.
I will be away from Thursday to next Monday. So I'm during the Easter break, I would have one.
Okay, good.
I just didn't want to waste the test.
Yes, you've got 10, don't worry, you've got 9 more. But do mock test G, okay? Do mock test G, and once you're done, let me know to go and check it for it. Okay, today we're going to start with summarized written text. We didn't have, for some of the newest students, we didn't have it, and for those who we have it, it could be a good repetition, and you will, if you haven't still memorized it, and if you have memorized it, it's just takes the dust off the old, what you have already memorized. Okay, now let's get started. I need to share my screen. All right. Now, for those of you that don't know what summarized written text is, just a short summary. Introduction.
So first of all, what is a summarized written text? The PTE writing module consists of 2 parts, summarized written text and essay writing respectively. PTE candidates will have 1 or 2 summarized written text questions in their PTE test. In the summarized written text, you will be given 10 minutes to summarize a text, sometimes up to 250 words, into 1 sentence. This 1 sentence can be as short as 5 and as long as 75 words. You can have a certain number of punctuation marks, but only 1 full stop at the end of your sentence. How is summarized written text scored? Summarized written text strategies. Number 1. Memorize the template word for word. Okay, the first thing you do is to memorize the template by typing it.
Okay, let me show you the template so you can take a photo of it if you still haven't, and this is the first time. Huh? Close it. Okay. All right, take a photo, please, if you still haven't. So try to answer 5 WH questions. That is what, when, where, who, and how many. So you can just these WH questions. Once you read the text, you know what sort of items you're looking for. Okay, these 5 WHs. Otherwise, choose some nice words and the words that have been repeated. You will end in this lesson. Okay, so that's it. Now we carry on with the rest of the video.
You need to memorize it as it is, with all the punctuation exactly where they are. Once you memorized it, depending on your typing speed, of course, it will take around 2 minutes to type it. As you can see, the words in black need to be memorized, and the words in red need to be filled from the Summarize It in Text passage. Number 2, don't try to make sense. When you fill in the blanks with content words, don't even try to make sense. The computer is good at the spelling, punctuation, and grammar, but not at semantics, which is another name for meaning of words. Watch this video to see what I mean. First, a computer does not compare essays against one another. That is why you can use the same template for your essays should you get 2 topics in your test. Second, a computer is best at checking your spellings, grammar, and punctuation. But when it comes to semantics, which is another name for words, meaning, and logic, computers fail. Let me give you an example to clarify this. Imagine your essay topic is about shopping with credit cards, and you write the following sentences as an example for developing your idea 1. For instance, my cat Sheba loves spending with my credit card. She does all my errands early in the morning before I wake up. Then she drives my dog to a business district near my house for a morning window shopping. So once the computer software analyzes this section, it finds all the spellings, grammar, and punctuation in order. Then the software finds the following words: spending, credit card, do errands, business district, and window shopping, highly related to the main theme of the essay topic, which is shopping. Therefore, the software gives a high score to the essay's content and vocabulary. What the computer has totally missed out and only a human examiner could pick on is the fact that cats cannot do any of the above activities. So the moral of the story is that so long as the grammar, spellings, and punctuation of your essay are okay, you do not need to necessarily make sense in your sentences. Number 3, choose the most important content words. Read the passage and try to find out the main idea of the text. Then try to fill in the blanks with the most important content words. You can find content words that are the answer to the following WH questions: what, when, where, why, who, and how many. Also use any nouns, adjectives, proper nouns, and names that have been repeated several times in one of the blanks. For example, in this Summarize It in Text, the word nurse shark has been repeated more than 6 times. You can choose up to 5 or 6 content words in each blank. But 3 words, adjective and noun compounds, would be fine.
Yes, try to make it shorter. 3 would be fine. I mean, 3 would make your sentence up to somewhere around 65 words once you finish. Okay, so if you had to, 1 blank is okay if you go with 5 or 6, but 3 would be fantastic.
You can also use a main verb with its accompanying words in one of the blanks, so long as the verb is in ing form. Number 4. Do not use any auxiliary verbs or helping verbs in the blanks. Auxiliary verbs such as am, is, are, and the rest, as you can see here in this list. The reason is that once you throw in a helping verb or an auxiliary verb, it messes with the grammar of the template. So no auxiliary verbs in the blanks. Number 5. Do not fill in the blanks with adverbs of time. Adverbs of time such as ago, yesterday, last year, 2 months ago, and so on. Again, the reason is that adverbs of time ruin the grammar of the template. So no adverbs of time either. Number 6. Use a main verb plus ing in blank number 3. In all other blanks, you can use nouns and adjectives and even main verbs, so long as they are in ing form or gerund. But in blank number 3, you specifically need to use a main verb from the content and make it into ing form. This is because of the grammatical structure of that part of the sentence. We use a verb in ing form after a preposition, and to here is a preposition. Number 7. You don't need to fully understand the passage. If reading is not your forte, just fill in the 11 blanks with adjectives and nouns and a verb in ing form in blank number 3. You will get a reasonable score for this section. But I would certainly suggest that you read the passage and choose the main content words for the blanks. Alright, let's do a few real PTE Summarize It in Text from the PTE.com practice website. Now, if you do not have...
Sorry, Hugh, I need to
Do you have any
rush.
questions?
My son injured himself.
That's
so
all right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course, no worries. Yeah. Hope he's fine. Okay, so I was going to say that, yes. Any questions, anyone? No? Okay. Huh? Okay.
All right, let's do it on your own. If you do not more after blank numbers, but practice makes perfect. You know that.
Okay. Okay, we'll do this one. And we'll watch this one, and then you do one and share it with us.
Okay, I give you some time to read the text. Okie dokie. As you all noticed, the text was about 3 main reasons why American English has become the most influential variety of English in the world today. So we try to fill in the blanks with those content words that directly express these 3 reasons. So I use American English in blank number 1, and the most influential variety of English in blank number 2. For blank number 3, as you are all aware by now, we use a main verb in gerund, and the word influence is a common theme here, so I use it in ing form, influencing in blank number 3. In blank number 4, I throw in the most powerful nation, and in blank 5, I use a dialect with an army. In blank 6, I am going to use America's political influence, and I have used the word influence for the second time, which doesn't matter, even if both were of the same part of speech. Anyway, in blank number 7, popular culture will be a good choice, as it is one of the 3 main reasons for America's linguistic dominance in the world. In blank number 8, I use international dominance. And for the next blank, number 9, communications technology. Microsoft fills the gap, number 10. And for the last blank, number 11, I use a default setting for language. So there you are. We have used the most important content words related to the theme of the text in one single sentence.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a topic, and I give you some time. Start writing a summary, summarizing to one sentence, and then you send it to me, and we'll go through it here. Because these exercises here, we let you fine-tune your writing, and if you make a mistake, everyone else that could make the same mistake would learn from it. So it is fine. I mean, try your best, but you are contributing to, you are actually teaching others as well, if good or bad. Okay, there's no good or bad, in learning, but it really doesn't matter if you make a mistake here and there. We are here to learn. Okay, so I'm going to give you. Let me go to number 42. Okay, 42 is good. Now, do you want me to make it bigger, or is that okay now? Can you read? Yes? Yes, can you read it? Good, just you can do this and okay. Simon, can you see? All right, good. Let's go. Please start typing whenever you just start typing so that by the 10 minutes, by the end of 10 minutes, you can send it over to me. All right, 3 minutes to go, almost. Okay. Very good, Mayuko. Let them finish and we'll go through each and every one. Okay. I think, yes, 50 seconds to go. Okay, another one I received probably from, yes, Simon. Very good. Alicia and tell me. Good. I think 3. Yeah, we got. Okay. So Alicia, only Alicia. Okay. Okay. Now we've got everyone's here. All right. We'll start with the first person who started that. So, Mayuko, whereas the underlying principles of ecology and nature pertain to understanding, very good, good word, the significance of providing long-term average condition relates with not only the study of the physical states of the atmosphere, but also with the principle of nature selection and the geographical science, so as not to undermine the crucial implications of their modern beginnings, vegetation zones with associated temperature limits, as well as 19th century. Okay, so you see, perfect. Oh, you got perfect, but this year could be important. Okay, any number you think that is important, just throw it in. You don't have to make sense. Just, I would say in, where is it? Ooh, where's the chat? Okay, just in one of these here, for instance, go with as well as 19th century, or here with associated temperature limits of 1874. That's it. You don't have to make sense of 74 or 1874. Okay, but the rest fine. Very good. Everything's fine, in fact. Now, next one is Hitomi, whereas the underlying principles of ecology and climatology pertain to studying. Now, ecology is in capital, but okay. Now, climatology, because it is at the start, it's capital. Otherwise, in the middle, you don't have to. There's nothing special. There's nothing special about climatology to be capital in the middle of a sentence. So pertain to study, but it's not a big
both ecology and climatology.
Yes, in little, yeah, in lowercase letters. The significance of providing the biological services relates with not only the geophysical science, but also with the natural history and plant geography, so as not to undermine the crucial implications of latitudinal zones, formal vegetation zones, associated temperature limits, as well as the so whenever you have 18s, okay, 1800, you need the before it. So look, the. Okay, in the early eight. Otherwise, if we didn't have early, it's the 80s. Okay, the 18th century or the 90s. But that's fine. It's very good. No, that wasn't a big problem. Full score here.
Did I throw the number 1874?
That's fine. Yes, this 18th or it doesn't matter. You have this one. That's fine. Okay.
Then I have to put the.
Yes, remember, if you are mentioning a decade or a century, you need to mention the before. So for instance, I was born in the 70s. All right, I was born in the 70s. You were born, he told me, perhaps in the 90s. Am I right? Okay, so there you go. The 90s, the whatever. Where is, oh, here. Okay. Now, next one. Very good. It's Simon's. Simon, where's the underlying principles of ecology and study of interaction of organisms pertain to understanding patterns in nature? Very good. The significance of providing climatology, again, capital C, relates to not only ecology, again, capital E shouldn't be, but also with the applied physics and fluid dynamics, so as not to undermine the crucial implications of Aristotle and Theophrastus, Alexander van Houten, as well as vegetation zones. Very good. Okay, that's fine. But Simon, here, these examples, okay, these guys here, I mean, one would be fine. This is also one person. The whole thing is one person. Okay. And yeah, that's fine. There's no mistake here. There's no, so long as there's no grammatical mistake, I really don't care about the content. But the content gives you, the first important thing is to write one sentence, and the second is the content. So you've done the job. Good. Well done. Well done. But remember the dates. Mention the date. If there is a date, number, you know, need to mention that as well. Good. What do I make so state tonight? Okay, and the last one is Alicia. Whereas the underlying principles of ecology and climatology, again, double, so, you know, pertain to understanding climate, the significance of providing climate change with, so you see, the significance of providing climate change relates with, not, you forgot relates here. Alicia? Okay. So relates with not only, what is it? Not only geographical patterns, but also with the scientific study. Scientific shouldn't be capital. Now, study and common history, so as not to undermine the crucial implications of sciences. So what's a mistake here? Can you find a mistake here, anyone? Alicia, can you find a mistake here? It's a cardinal sin. It's a big mistake. It's a cardinal sin. Alicia? Anyone else?
CA.
I'm sorry?
LA. No.
No.
What was it?
It's a cardinal sin. Remember, I told you, no, don't use this.
Is.
Very good. So I said
Nice.
do not use helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. So is one of them. So here you see that the imbalances the whole thing. So just get rid of is. So it says implications of science. Aristotle. So science. Come on, Aristotle. Whatever. And as well as Alexander van Humboldt. Okay. Now that is a grammatical mistake. You should not use it, you know, but otherwise everything else is fine. That was your first. Very good. Okay. Any questions? No, no questions. Okay, fantabulous students. Now we're going to start with speaking. We haven't done read aloud for a long time. Okay. So let's get started with speaking. Okay, the first one everyone does because I want you to get to know the type of, you know, everyone is shouting in the room, so it is a bit very noisy, in fact. Now, one more thing, probably during your exam, the supervisor probably will come to you from behind and focus on your shoulder, and you turn around and he's holding up a note that says keep your voice down. Okay. You don't have to do anything special, just do this. Nod. Okay, just nod, but keep doing the same voice. Okay, he doesn't have a voiceometer and says, oh, before this it was 18 decibel, now it is 16.5. That's good. Okay, he doesn't know. So you just keep doing the same thing you're doing. You don't have to shout, but a little bit louder than normal. Okay, so the first one, everyone please, and then we get we do it one by one. No. Okay. All right, everyone. It seems that when it comes to
plan and movement are designed to
misunderstand one another and themselves, you discover that in fact you make
cover the aspect and expression in a
romantic
diplomatic
is the
often the best way to
a
make a
biologically successful
biologically
choice about a
successful
potential
choice
partner
or
on the
potential
basis.
partner on the basis.
very good. And see, we all finished it, but your time is registered when you press yes. Okay, next one. I'll tell you who that lucky person is. So everyone read it. 5 seconds to go. I'll tell you who this is. He told me.
Scientists know little about how exactly it works, especially when it comes to complex function like memory formation. Research is more advanced in animals, but experiments on humans are hard. Yet even today, some parts of the brain, like the motor cortex, are better understood, nor is complete knowledge always needed. Machine learning can recognize patterns of natural activity.
Excellent, very good. That's the speed I want. Okay, and then you press yes. That's it. Excellent. That's what I want. Okay, very good speed. And you finished at almost half, a little bit past half. Fantastic. Okay, next one. Mayuko.
Legal writing is usually less than writing in other humanities subjects and it's more important than variety. Sentence structure should not be complete. It is usually unnecessary to make an extensive use of adjective and verbs, and of terms is often required.
Okay, you finished here. And you repeated 2 words twice. Mayuko, no one is listening to you. No one is there. Just read it. Don't worry about your pronunciation. Okay, if you made a mistake. No, look, next one I'll do. Okay, the next one I'll do. No, actually, I won't do that. Simon, next one.
Competence in mathematics was another trouble spot. More than half say that their real school graduate are deficient in mathematics. More than 10% of respondents say college graduate are deficient in the subject, while 70% say they are adequate.
Very good, you finished here. Excellent. Half the time, press yes. Bob's your uncle. You can do still a little faster. Okay, Alicia.
Two sisters were at a dinner party when the conversation turned to upbringing. The elder sister started to say that her parents had been very strict and that she had been rather frightened of them. Her sister, younger by 2 years, interrupted in amazement. "What are you talking about?" she said. "Oh, our parents were very lenient."
Okay, finished here. Very good. Okay, that's a very good speed. You can do a little bit faster. Okay, now I'll do this one. In his landmark account, first published 20 years ago, the author argues that ignorance and lethargy of the poor direct results of the whole situation of economic, social, and political domination by being kept in a situation in which critical awareness and response are practically impossible and disadvantage are kept submerged. Okay, I finished here way before. It shouldn't have happened, but I just wanted to show you that if, for instance, this one you don't know, just say levity. Okay, levity. It doesn't matter. Just say something. But if you practice, you will get the speed where. Now, I noticed that I went too far. Now, if I practice enough, then I know that how I should start so that I can finish half the time. But okay, this one again I do In multilingual countries, code mixing the rings of the variety in the same utterance of scientists. Code switching is the use of different languages and variety switching. So the best way is to pronounce it in a way that the computer can understand, okay? So despite frequency and perhaps because of the scholars and self-appointed guardians of linguistic morality, view both code mixing and code switching as a sign of linguistic deficiency. So don't worry about your pronunciation. What I want you to do is to finish it half or past half time. In multilingual code mixing, the use of more than one variety in the same utterance or sentence, and code switching, the use of different languages and variety between sentences, is common and natural, despite the all frequency, or perhaps it is with some scholars say self-appointed guardians of linguistic morality view both code mixing and code switching as a sign of linguistic deficiency. Okay, half the time, there you go. So remember, you don't have to have a British, English, American pronunciation. Whatever that you say should be picked up by computer. That's it. So the best way I would say is reading it like this, so that the computer, the Japanese tea ceremony is the formal outside of Buddhism in which green tea is prepared and served to a small group of, but then once you get practice, just a little bit, the pace should be a little bit faster. Otherwise, whatever your pronunciation is, computer can't pick up, don't worry, okay? This one, everyone.
The Japanese
Japanese code ceremony is
influenced by Buddhism, in which green tea is prepared and served to a small group of guests in a beautiful city. The ceremony can take multiple hours, and there are many traditional gestures that both the servers and the guests must perform.
Very good, half the time, everyone, okay? Round two. Simon.
At the beginning of each fiscal year, funds are allocated to.
Oh, we have two Simons here? It's okay. Okay, I'll play the game. Simon, I'll play the game. It's all right.
I thought
Alicia,
everyone.
Alicia has got a middle name called Alicia Simon. Okay, that's all right, Alicia.
Oh, okay.
Simon, this time, okay? Oh, yeah, we. Okay, next one. Was it this one? Okay, this one, Simon, please.
The Grand Canyon is 277 miles long, up to 18 miles wide, and attains a depth of over a mile, where the specific geologic process and timing that formed the Grand Canyon are subjected to debate by geologists. Recent evidence suggests the Colorado River established its course through the canyon at least 70 million years ago.
Okay, good. Faster, a bit faster, Simon, okay? Practice, faster. Okay, next one. Mayuko.
Marketing research is a vital part of the planning of any business. However, experienced you or your staff may be in a particular field. If you are thinking of introducing a service to a few area, it is important to find out what the local population thinks about it first.
Excellent. Very good. There you go. And as quickly as possible, you press next and yes, very good. You're getting the hang of it. Like this, a little bit faster. You can do it. Bob's your uncle. Okay. This one, he told me.
Thomson recognized and exploited all the ingredients of a successful amusement ride, writes Judith Adams in the American amusement park industry. His courses combined an appearance of road rides with Thomson recognized and exploited all the ingredients of the successful amusement ride, writes Judith Adams in the American amusement park industry. His coasters combined an appearance of danger with actual safety, thrilled riders with accelerating speed, and allowed the public to intimately experience the industrial revolution's new technologies of gears, steel, and dazzling electric lights.
Okay, very good. You were not supposed to even pronounce it. Okay, just skip it. Just skip that word. Publicly
Okay.
experience. That's it. Doesn't matter. Up to 3 words, just no worries. Good.
Okay.
Very good. Alicia. Not you, Simon. Not you, Simon. Okay. It's Alicia.
Transhumanly erected barrier between two divisions of land used to mark a legal and other boundary to keep animals or people in or out, and sometimes as an ornament. In newly settled lands, fences are usually made of materials at hand, example, stone, earth, and wood.
Excellent. That's the speed I want. Very good. You're getting the hang of it half the time. Quickly press yes and next one. Okay. Now we're going to practice retail lecture. Okay. So in retail lecture, as you know, we have a template. You say the topic of the lecture was this, the speaker talked about this, that, and the other. So try to write as many words as you can. Okay. Oh, there's a spaceship. There's a spaceship here. Okay. All right. Now let's go. I'm glowing tonight. I don't know why. So are you ready? So everyone writes down, and once it is finished, I call out.
The brand is the talent.
It is, okay?
I've been asked to speak today about the purpose of museums, and I think that's something we often take for granted, that we have museums and we need museums. But with so much information available now online, people have access to whatever it is they want to know, so I think we need to consider carefully just what it is that we expect of our museums today, what makes them relevant in the information age. Clearly, we've got to move beyond the early 20th century concept of a warehouse full of old, remarkable, untouchable objects. This warehouse idea does very little to inspire people. What museum professionals need to do, what they should be doing, is make their collections and programs work towards the purpose of education. So whether that means having more hands-on exhibits, becoming involved with other community organisations, they should be doing whatever it takes to think about their visitors, to engage people, to educate them. And in that way, they can be instruments of social change. If they have knowledge and understanding of the people who visit, and the people they want to come and visit, they can take this as a starting point for providing exhibitions and services that are relevant to people's lives.
Simon. Turn on your microphone.
The topic of the lecture was museum. The speaker talked about information online for people. The speaker also went on and talked about aspect from museum today. Finally, the speaker highlighted the following point: social change, 20th century nation of warehouse, and ancient remarkable object.
Very good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Remember, the more you write, the better, Simon. Okay, write it in Chinese. Did you write in English or did you write in Chinese?
Just English.
Okay, so that's why probably you. But if you write in your own language, remember, you can. Sometimes if there's a phrase you cannot write it in English, just write it in Chinese, and then you can read it quickly. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever helps you remember and say more words, it's okay. No one is scoring whatever you're writing. Whatever you say is the important thing. Very good. Next one. Everybody please write down.
Hello, everyone. Today's lecture is about setting up a website. I'm going to be focusing on things that you need to consider to ensure your website really adds value to the people using it. So, there are three main areas you need to think about. The first and most important thing is who is your target audience. When you're creating a new website, you really need to think about who the users are and what information they'll be looking for. What we do when we set up websites is to group users based on their needs. So, for a website in the academic community, for example, we may have groups such as researchers and administrators, and this helps us design the site and add information that is relevant to each group. The second point is accessibility. The main thing here is to ensure your website can be found. And you can do this by making sure it can be reached from areas on the web where your target audience are also active. So this may mean providing links on other websites or maybe using social media. And thirdly, retention. Making sure your target audience return to your website regularly. You do this by ensuring it gives them a reason to come back. So it's important to keep the site up to date and make sure it provides the latest news and interesting information and so on.
Mayuko. You're unmuted.
The topic of the lecture was about setting up a website. The speaker talked about how to create the people. The speaker also went on and talked about the most important things is who is target. Finally, the speaker highlighted the following points. Second important thing is the accessibility. And third one is how to retain.
Retention.
Retention.
Very good. Good. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Next one.
Separation of pups from their mothers, this is rat or mouse pups, at early in life, for brief periods of time, like 10 minutes a day, during the first 2 weeks before the eyes open, leads to a more laid-back personality, if you will. And other studies have shown by people like Michael Meany and so on have shown that this can, and Robert Sapolsky, I should add, these animals age more slowly. They have a longer lifespan in general. And of course, then the Meany and Moshe Ziff studies have shown that there is a modification of DNA, the methylation or demethylation of cytosine bases in certain genes, that has an epigenetic and even transgenerational effect. So a mother who has a well, and that the mediator of these handling effects that Levine and Denneberg originally found is actually the amount of maternal care that the mother pays attention to how much licking and grooming occurs. And the more licking and grooming, according to the Michael Meany view, the more laid back the animals will be, the longer the life they will have, the more perhaps cognitively sharp they will be. But you have to remember that that's in a safe environment. If it's in a dangerous environment, then having a more anxious personality, a more wary personality, may actually be better for survival. So it's very much dependent on the living environment, and you can easily extrapolate that to people.
Hitomi?
The topic of the lecture was separation of pups from their mother. The speaker talked about rats. The speaker also went on and talked about 2 weeks. But finally, the speaker highlighted the following points: personality, other studies, rabbits, animals age more slowly. There is modification of DNA, certain genes, transgenerational effects, amount of maternal care, grooming, more laid back, safe environment, anxious personality, environment, and so on.
Excellent. Very good. You don't have to finish by 40 seconds. 35, 35, that would be fine. Okay? Very good. But you see, towards the end, when you see you still have time, you can slow down and say, and of course, personality, and you can add a little bit of, yes. But very good. Excellent. A lot of content words. So I'm very confident here that you are doing fine here. Okay, who else? I think Alicia, aka Simon. Okay, next one.
Okay, to help you with your research, I just wanted to give you some tips today on using focus groups. These are groups of people that you get together to find out about their opinions and attitudes. For example, to review a piece of work, or just basically provide some collective input to help you with whatever you're researching. First of all, how large should a focus group be? Well, I would say that an ideal number of participants is around 6 or 7. If it's any bigger, what quite often happens is they break into side conversations and the focus is lost. If it's any smaller, you may not get the range of views that you need to get a really good discussion. Secondly, it's important that you have a moderator for the group who's able to facilitate and guide the discussions. The moderator must ensure that everyone participates and stop anyone dominating. And also, the moderator needs to make sure that the discussions don't go off in the wrong direction. And thirdly, in order to help the group focus on what's required, some basic materials should be used, particularly to kick-start the discussions. This may be in the form of pictures, photos, diagrams, graphs, etc., and will help the group to understand the context of what needs to be discussed.
The topic of the lecture was about tips of people in groups, people to find their own their opinions. The speaker also talked about collective inputs, how large the group is. Ideally, the group should be 6 or 7 people. Bigger groups can break side conversations, which are smaller groups.
Excellent. Very good. Good job. Okay. So as the first point, it was very good. So you mentioned most of the content words, and that's it. Okay. Very good. Let me see. Do you want to do one more round, or is that enough from retail lecture? Simon, what do you think? Your microphone is open. What do you think?
Maybe one more round.
Yeah, why not? Okay, let's go. Now, everyone write down. I'll tell you who that lucky person is.
A wind turbine is a device that will convert wind into mechanical movement, which we can use to power a water pump or electricity generator. Now, the power that a turbine creates is obviously dependent on the wind speed, but it's also dependent obviously on the number of sails, the area of the sails, and the angle that the sails makes to the wind. So if you can imagine, if the turbine blades are flat onto the wind is just going to sort of bend it. But if they're at a slight angle, when the wind hits it, it's going to turn the blades, and we can use that for powering things. Now, we're going to have a go at making some very, very simple paper windmills, the sort of things that you can make from the bits and pieces lying around at home, and use that to drive a very small generator to power electronic devices.
Mayuko, are you there?
Sorry, I was not here.
All right, he
I
told
just
me.
come back now.
It's okay, he told me.
The topic of the lecture was wind turbine. The speaker talked about mechanical movement. The speaker also went on and talked about depend on wind speed. Finally, the speaker highlighted the following points: blade, powering things, paper windmill, generator, rotor blade, brake, gearbox, generator, electric controls, yaw system, tower, rotor hub with blade pitch mechanism, foundations, grid connection,
And
turbine, mechanical
turbine.
movement.
Very excellent. So you see, you can treat it like a describe image. So you can treat it basically, if you didn't have any idea, you can treat it like a describe. The topic of the lecture was rotor blade. The speaker talked about brakes, gearbox, generator, and rotor hub with blade pitched mechanism. So it's easy, but the more, if you didn't have a photo like this one, it is what, if it wasn't accompanied by a photo, you can just write down as many, and then towards the end, you don't have to make sense. Alicia, I noticed that when you were talking about your retail lecture, you were trying to make sense, okay? The last thing you want to make is to make sense, all right? The last thing. So just whatever you've written, mention them in chunks of sentences, and towards the end, as many as you can, you just jam pack them towards the end. All right, one more.
Mary Mallon, better known as Typhoid Mary, was the first person in the United States identified as an asymptomatic carrier of the pathogen associated with typhoid fever. She was presumed to have infected 51 people, 3 of whom died over the course of her career as a cook. She was twice forcibly isolated by public health authorities and died after a total of nearly 3 decades in isolation. From 1900 to 1907, Mallon worked as a cook in the New York City area for 7 families. Mallon then went to work for a lawyer. She left after 7 of the 8 people in that household became ill. In 1906, she took a position in Oyster Bay, Long Island, and within 2 weeks, 10 of the 11 family members were hospitalized with typhoid. She changed jobs again, and similar occurrences happened in 3 more households. She worked as a cook for the family of a wealthy New York banker, Charles Henry Warren. When the Warrens rented a house in Oyster Bay for the summer of 1906, Mallon went along too. From August 27th to September 3rd, 6 of the 11 people in the family came down with typhoid fever. The disease at the time was unusual in Oyster Bay, according to 3 medical doctors who practiced there.
Mayuka. Your mic, yeah.
The topic of the lecture was about Mary. The speaker talked about she's the first woman as a symptomatic infected person. The speaker also went on and talked about the 3-decade isolation Finally, the speaker highlighted the following points. 11 family was hospitalized. 27th of August, 6 people are down with the symptoms.
Very good. New York, banker, remember? New York, banker, and stuff. Very good. Okay, so this retail lecture, I think up to now, maybe 20 students got this one. This same retail lecture in their test. So typhoid lady, typhoid, Mary typhoid, number 28, okay?
What kind of fever was it? What fever?
Typhoid,
Typhoid fever.
yes. In my language, we pronounce it typhoid, typhoid. I don't know how you say, how do you say that in Japanese?
Maybe Mayuko knows.
Mayuko, it is right up your street. Come on, it is right up your street. How do you pronounce this? I mean, in your language, typhoid. How do you say?
I don't know.
Really? You're a nurse. You should know. You should know everything. Simon knows. Simon looks as if him. Simon, how do you say that in your language? Typhoid. Typhoid.
I don't know.
Really?
Chochifusu.
Ah, all right. And okay. Chochikfusu. All right. So that's it. And it is interesting. This lady, as you heard, she infected about 10 to 15 people, and most of them died. But she didn't. She had this disease inside her. I think it was inside one of either kidney or another organ, but she didn't have any symptoms. She had no symptoms. That was a post-mortem that they did on her body. And once the doctors came to know that she was the source of typhoid, they, like prison, she was in a prison and no one could meet her, and she died in that sort of prison hospital. But this is the first and most important and most famous case that there was a pathogen carrier without showing any signs and symptoms of the pathogen she was carrying. Anyway, one more. He told me, have you done one? I mean, the second one?
Yeah.
The second one? You did the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this time it's Alicia, I think. And Simon, have you done it? No, Simon? No, I mean Simon on the right. Yes, Simon?
No.
No, and Alicia on the left, have you? No, Alicia hasn't done it. Okay, so next one. I think it's Simon on the right, okay?
This is a bomb calorimeter. This is the actual piece of equipment that researchers use to calculate the energy content of either biodiesel or maybe even the potato chips that you had for lunch today. When they calculate the amount of energy, they're going to calculate it in heat units, which would either be joules or calories. I want you to look inside the bomb calorimeter. Inside here, you can see that there's a silver bucket. Water goes all in here. And this is actually the bomb. It's a smaller silver cylinder. What you do is put your fuel sample in there. Then these two electrodes are connected to the bomb. These provide the spark that will ignite your sample. When your sample burns or combusts, that gives off energy. So how is the energy collected, or how does a scientist figure out how much energy is being given off? Well, it's a closed system. There's a lid here that goes on top of this calorimeter. And what's in here in the lid is a stirrer. The stirrer is going to stir the water that's in this big pool here, so that the heat given off from the sample is going to warm the water in a uniform way.
The topic of lecture was calorie bomb. The speaker talked about calculate the energy contents of biodiesel. The speaker also went on and talked about the calorie unit. Finally, the speaker highlighted the following point: ignition box, fuse wires, steering motor, pump cells, water pump wire, temperature reader, and thermometer.
Respectively. Very good. Excellent. Good, good. Water, yeah, all the lid, everything. Very good. So, and the last one, everyone please write down, and I tell you who that person is. Of course, it is Alicia, but that's my picture.
Other great apes, for example, gorillas and chimpanzees, probably have the potential for being much smarter than their current environment requires them to be. That's a really interesting notion. So you think that, and you do see this, according to the article, when a great ape is adopted in a human family and is required to do more human things. Clearly, the potential for that intelligence was there.
Yeah. So the idea is, of course, that inputs. Put it like this: you're not born intelligent. You're made intelligent because of inputs. There has to be something there, some infrastructure. But if you don't fill it, if you don't develop it, and as you know, the brain is extremely plastic, and that's also true for primate brains. So you need to have these inputs. Social inputs enhance the signal-to-noise ratio. But of course, it really depends on what those social inputs are. Great ape inputs are not human inputs. So you might call it the bootstrapping problem, in the sense that if you could somehow, and that's what we do experimentally, increase the efficiency of those inputs, show these animals things that they would not normally see in the wild, then of course it turns out that with that same equipment, if you prime it properly, so to speak, you can actually reach much higher levels of cognitive performance, and that's in the end.
The topic of the lecture was about the great apes. The speaker talked about how much the apes is more smarter. Great apes are more human things. They're not born intelligent. Their brain is plastic, have the social inputs. Not human inputs, increase human inputs, same equipment.
Respectively. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So you haven't memorized the template, have you? The topic of the lecture. The speaker, finally, the speaker highlighted
yes.
the following points. Okay, and then so Alicia, where do you stand on this evolution thing? Do you believe in evolution? You know, evolution, yes, that me, okay, I'm talking about myself. I am the cousin of this gentleman here. This photo.
I don't believe. I don't know.
Good, good.
Believe.
Good. Okay, you tell me.
Was it?
You tell me, what do you think?
What was the question? Sorry. You are the cousin.
Yeah, the question is, do you think that we come, what Darwin said, that we all come from the apes and stuff? Do you believe in that or not?
Maybe. I don't know. We've been in that way, so maybe.
Simon, let's hear from Simon. Simon, what do you think?
Maybe too.
Okay, you think it's maybe rain, maybe snow, maybe yes, maybe no, huh? Mayuko, you're the doctor. If you pass on this question, I give up on you. Okay, what do you think?
Maybe similar to humans.
Darwin said that we come from, we share genes with this gentleman here on the screen. Do you buy it or not?
I couldn't understand the
The
question.
question is that human beings and monkeys, apes, they come from the same parents, okay? The
I think
same
so.
gene. Is that yes or no? Do you think it's a yes or no?
Yes.
It's a yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, if you look at this photo, he's thinking. He's thinking like us, okay? And like you, I didn't because it was if I believed in it, then it meant that this gentleman here is a relative of mine, is a cousin of mine, okay? But that was many years ago, and I was young. Now, Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. Descartes said that, okay? And I say, I think, therefore I am a monkey. So there we go. But to be honest with you, it is not a theory anymore. It's a fact, okay? It's a fact of science now. You want to believe it or not, it's up to you. But when I talk with my wife about these sort of things, she says, do not get me involved in your family business, okay? So she doesn't want to accept it, but it's all funny. But I like this photo of this gentleman. We are all shaved monkeys, what they say inside. So we are all shaved monkeys. Anyway, what time is it? 20. I hope Yagita's son is okay. I hope nothing happened to him, but still the camera is on and she's gone. I hope things are okay with Yagita. Okay. Now we still have 7 minutes to go. Any questions about my cousin, about myself, about PTE?
Oh, are you going to take the PTE exam soon?
I was thinking about it, that I should sit the test probably, maybe I'm not sure, maybe in 1 or 2 months, because I want to know the type of complete sentence questions and if they're still the same or not. Yes, I was thinking about
They increased the price.
Oh, really? How much? How much is it now?
I think just increased by $10.
Okay, so it's now
385.
Wow, 380.
Good money, good business.
And with the fact that, you know, for instance, there was this particular guy who sat the test every time. He got 79 all, and then one was 72 or so, you know, one. imagine that. Okay, so any more questions? No? Have you booked one, he told me?
Not yet.
Okay. You do your mock test and I'll tell you when to sit the test, okay? When
I remember the templates for the essay and summarize written text. And I just tried to write down the initial of the
therefore,
DI and also other things, retail lecture.
Yes.
I think I will have enough time to write down the initials.
Practice makes perfect, okay? And one more thing for Mayuko, the doctor here. Mayuko, if, I mean, genetics doesn't lie, okay? The gentleman over here and we have 98% similarity in genes. 98%. Some people say, some scientists say 99.9, okay? But to be just 98 is a similarity between genes, and genes are, you know, they don't lie. And in cases that you need blood, if you are in an urgent and you're dying and there's a monkey, get the blood from the monkey and you're going to be fine. But once you got the blood, if you see another human being, it's better to transfuse the blood and get a human blood. But it would help you if it is really, really killing you. You can get the blood from the brother down there. Okay, now we can do one more. We can do one more all together. Okay, all of us together, and we want to pretend that it is the real situation, the real test center.
There's a lot of dinosaurs now. There's over 1,500 species that have been found, and people are finding new ones all the time. It's really an incredible moment that we're all in right now, because somewhere around the world right now, somebody's finding a new species of dinosaur on average about once a week. So we're getting about 50 new species a year. This is the golden age, and they're coming from everywhere. China, of course, as we'll talk about, but every continent dinosaurs are found on, and we're even finding them up in Scotland. So there are so many species. There are lots of classification schemes. These are the things that a lot of young kids memorize and a lot of people like to argue about. But really, to me, the most important divisions of dinosaurs, there's three main groups. There's the long neck ones like Brontosaurus. We call those the sauropod dinosaurs. There are the plant eaters with beaks. These are what we call the ornithischian dinosaurs, so things like Triceratops and Stegosaurus. And then there's the theropod dinosaurs, the meat eaters.
Everyone, please. Every Simon in the class, okay? The topic of the lecture
was kinds of dinosaurs. The speaker talked about 150 species. The speaker also went on and talked about incredible moments. Finally, the speaker highlighted the following
different types of
new species.
There are three types: the long neck one,
once a week,
the
species every year. China, Scotland, skim, argue,
the meat eaters, and also they come
long
from
neck
different parts.
one with beaks,
China,
for dinosaur, and respectively. This recording was mainly about kind of dinosaurs. The speaker talked about 150 species.
Excellent, very good. Mayuko, have you seen a dinosaur in your life, a real one?
No.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You didn't used to lie. Simon, have you seen a dinosaur, a live dinosaur?
No.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Alicia? No?
No.
Oh. Itobi? No? All right. Look at this one. Okay. Now, birds, all the birds come from dinosaurs. So birds, all the dinosaurs, and the ones that could survive, they took into the sky, and there we have them. So an ostrich, the legs, look at the leg on this one, like an ostrich. So the legs are there. The neck is also ostrich. Ostrich has got the same. So birds basically all come from dinosaurs. So dinosaurs are still living.
They just evolved.
They just evolved, but they say one animal that survived and goes back to 60 million years ago, and it still has the same everything.
Crocodile?
A crocodile, very good. Still, they are the same animals, because at the time of that big splash, it hit the Yucatan province in Mexico, they went under the water, and of course they can stay there for up to 2-3 hours, but they have to come and breathe. But anyway, they say that one of the reasons they actually survived. But
if you like the dinosaur, you should go to the Melbourne Museum now.
Have you gone there?
Just yesterday, I went to the garden show and then catching up with my friend at the museum, and there's very good exhibition.
Really? Have they got the skeleton and everything?
Yeah, and then they got like 80% of actual, like the bone.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow, that's good. Yes. Yeah, I didn't know that. One day I should go there. Yes.
Yeah, you should go before it finishes.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one. See ya. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.